Hey y'all, Mythic Rare here, and this is Wip and Chat number 2. If you're returning, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. This diamond painting is, well, I mean, you can't really see her face, but this is Princess, better just leave it. This is Princess Pluto. So the princess form of one of the Sailor Scouts. I got this off of Tinmi Arts over on Etsy. I recognize that it is not a licensed piece, but we make do with what we have in the budget. This was just sitting in my stash, and yeah, I'm so small, I'm not even monetized anyway, so what does it matter? Anyways, I am gonna be using Squirt's Wax, aka Swax. This is the Maui Paw. It works very similar to Patty Wax. You just kind of scrape, 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 or like this, and then you just smooth it down, take your excess, stick it back onto the pad. If it gets crumbly on you, do the Randa's Crafty Corner thing and stick it in the fridge. And then the pen that I'm going to be using today is Whoop Enabler's Outpost. And this tray that you may occasionally see is from Diamond Art Club, just one of the things that I had from one of their kits. And I do apologize about hopping all into the business with my health and all of that previous Wip and Chat, but there are just a few things that y'all need to know about why I'm not as consistent as the YouTube algorithm or some of y'all may like. So yeah, just kind of keeping it a buck. So who am I and what do I do? Well, some of you from real life may know me as Jen. Otherwise, I go by Mythic Rare for all of the things on online games, etc. And my day job is I work in the travel industry. I take phone calls. I work from home. Do not bother asking me about my phone number, my flight information. I am not going to say who I take calls for, let alone give any of y'all a free flight, so don't even try. In the name of the moon, I will ban hammer you so fast that it'll make your ancestors dizzy. Yeah, so currently I am in Oklahoma City, and I have not been a native to I'm not a native to these parts. I am a Phoenix transplant. So, and I'm not originally from Phoenix either. I'm from Colorado. Born in Colorado, parents moved to Phoenix summer of '94 because they wanted to start a post-nut store. They were a competitor to Power Postal. Not sure if they've still got stores open. I mean, comment down below if they do, but I don't think that they have any more stores open. So yeah, my parents moved down here to have that. My mom, that's pretty much what she did full time. My dad worked for the airlines. Not going to say which one, and he's been retired from them for 20 plus years anyways. So yeah. He did the Postnet store after he got out of his day job, and it's just, yeah, they were very, very busy people, and I would spend a lot of the time in the break room doing homework, or rather pretending to do homework, but actually drawing and coloring and stuff instead, and was threatened on multiple occasions that if I didn't get my homework done by such and such a date, that I was going to be held back, and I didn't want to be held back, so I kind of mushed it all in at the end of the year. But after having mushed it all in, what they would always do is they would put me on an airplane, and I would go to Grandma's house for summer vacation. Grandma's house meaning Cincinnati, Ohio. And I would get to stay with my dad's side of the family for pretty much the whole entire summer. Grandma would always watch her soaps in the morning. So, like, As the World Turns, Guiding Light, Young and the Restless. Oh, all the soaps. I mean, all the soaps. And then if she wasn't watching soap, she was watching Price is Right, and yup. And then at like 11 a.m. or so, she would make me lunch. At noon, she would take me to the YMCA gym over in Clifton. And then we would go swimming. And I would always be so tan, because swimming pretty much every single day, Monday through Friday in the summer, once the gym opened. And then I would come back. I would be coming back just in time for Adult Swim on Cartoon Network. And Adult Swim was my jam. Like, original Dragon Ball Z. The original Dragon Ball. Gundam Wing. Sailor Moon. Samurai Jack. For me, Cartoon Network was it. Nickelodeon came in at a close second because I liked Cat Dog, Hey Arnold, Rocket Power. And then Disney was like a third for me, because yeah, it was kind of more like the little kid shows, but then I wasn't like really into the grown-up shows either, so it was kind of like, yeah, like cartoons were my jam. And pretty much every single summer from kindergarten all the way up until like 3rd grade was like that for me. And yeah, I basically got to watch a lot of good TV shows and things, but like I couldn't go full blown like anime weeb, because I wanted the Steve Irwin Sailor Moon dolls like so bad. They were in Kmart and like Walgreens and stuff, and Grandma was like, no, couldn't buy them because retirement fund will not cover extra things and yada yada. And it's just like, oh, it like broke my heart as a kid. And I guess that kind of explains now why I have like almost the whole entire Q Posket of like Sailor Moon scouts when they're all transformed. And that explains kind of why I'm collecting a lot of stuff now, is because I was told that I couldn't as a kid. But now that I am making my own money, it's just, yeah, it is what it is. Anywho, a lot of the time though, in Cincinnati, it'll rain. It'll rain a lot. And there were days where I couldn't go to the YMCA. And the very first summer that I spent with my grandma, she didn't really have any toys or anything for me. It was basically like Rima Xerox paper, pack of crayons, go ham. And oh boy, did I go ham. I finished the whole ream by the end of summer. And in case y'all didn't know, a ream is 500 pages. So yeah, I kind of picked up like drawing and art and stuff like really young. I remember sitting on the TV like watching those scenes from Sailor Moon. I'm like, I want to be the person that draws all of those one day. And so as I grew up, I'm kind of like focusing mileage, gotta get better and stuff. And then it got to a point where it was like all of my relatives under the sun and the moon wanted to have a drawing from me, but I didn't get anything out of it really, except for like good job and da da da. And I remember having this conversation with my parents. I'm just like, well, I don't want to do this anymore because I never get anything in return. And they're just like, but they give you stuff for your birthday. And I'm just like, but that is X amount of months away. Just like, I don't want to do this for people anymore. Not unless they're going to give me stuff. So, like, yeah, ripe old age of 8 years old, I figured out how commissions work, right? So, like, the people who would give me art supplies and stuff, oh, I would knock out a piece for them so fast. Yes, give me that Crayola sketchbook with the dragon and the water soluble pencils. Yes, please. And then, yeah, it was kind of like that. I would go through phases where it's just like, yeah, I'm like over it with the attention for art and stuff like that, like, and I just like wouldn't draw. And then like for a while I would, and just kind of like back and forth. And then I would try other things too when I was growing up, on like that whole quest to find your thing, find your talent. Like I did competitive swim from like 8 years old all the way up through middle school, and that was about time where I quit going to grandma's house every summer because I would stay home and I would do swim team. And then if I wasn't doing that, then in the off season I was doing ballet. So I did ballet for 5 years, from level 1 all the way up to beginner all the way up to level 4. And then I found out that point shoes are a thing and they could really jack up your feet, and that freaked me out. So I was like, no. And my parents actually kind of sided with me on that one. They're just like, no. And then for a while I was into karaoke and I got actually pretty good. And then it would be like a spectacle every single time I would go to somebody's house for Thanksgiving or Christmas, or there was like Filipinos, which is my mom's side of the family. My dad is just your typical Caucasian guy from the States. Yeah. Um, in Filipino culture, like we always have like these house parties or kickbacks, whatever you want to call them. Everybody just comes over to your house and they bring food, right? Um, yeah, and like everybody would have a karaoke machine, and it's just kind of a thing, like kind of how it is in Japan and all that. Like the Asians, they like their karaoke. Um and everybody would like crowd around when I was singing, cuz I would sing like the Celine Dion songs and stuff like that, and it got to a point where it or like everybody was bragging about me and stuff, and it was just like, yeah, no, like no, like this is getting to be too much, so I quit that. And then I got into guitar when I was a little bit older, but like kind of liked it, but then didn't have enough time to practice because I was working, got my first job at Burger King, and yeah, um didn't really have the time to practice to really be good, so eventually quit that. Was in orchestra from the time I was in like third grade or fourth grade all the way up until high school, and I saw like in junior high I was being put in the back, and the popular girls who weren't necessarily as great were getting put up in the front and stuff. And I was just like, no, this is not it. And that was kind of where like school and stuff was close enough to home to where if either fifth and sixth grade, I would like walk home from school instead of taking the bus because the bus always broke down. And I would always beat the bus, number one. Number two, I would go on to WB64 and I would watch like Card Captor Sakura and like some other type of anime and stuff, or like junior high. Sometimes I would be able to get out and still watch Adult Swim if it was early enough. Like anime was kind of my thing. And after that, like got into college, tried a couple of times to do like, oh, what is it called? Like time like speed paints, like where you time lapse yourself coloring in, or in my case Copic markering in a thing that you drew. But honestly, I couldn't keep up with it, and I quit making YouTube videos for like the longest time. And that was just because like I couldn't stay consistent, number one. Number two, that probably had a really big role to deal with it is I was going through a phase where I had my first like actual computer, and then I wanted to play video games and stuff on it all the time. And college, if I wasn't like, busy with work or it was summer or whatever. Like, the types of video games we'll get into later, but I will just leave it at that. Spent way too long at Burger King. I spent 8 years there. I should not have. I should probably have only spent 2 years there and tried to get a campus job. At my community college, campus jobs were kind of like few and far between. If you weren't working in the registrar office, then you were working in the library, and yeah, like, could not find an open position there. Eventually, when I got to the bigger state college, I knew that there was going to be a change in management at my Burger King. And, like, the rumors that I heard about this person, I knew, like, they were going to try and fire me. So I basically went. I found an open position for, like, a receptionist / graphic designer role, and I applied. And I got the job. And ironically, how I got the job is the interviewer asked, like, what kind of hobbies and stuff that I had, and I had a lot in common with them. One of them was anime, and, like, we just hit it off, like, we clicked, and it's just, yeah, like 3 days later, found out that I got it, and sayonara Burger King. Employed by the state college for 2 years, and then I wanted to keep working there. Like, I learned a lot as a graphic designer and, like, made a lot of friends and stuff, but I wasn't going to grad school. Like, I could not afford to finance any more of my school than what I already had. And my parents had some money to pay for my school, but they didn't have enough. So, like, I had to do student loans to do the rest. So that kind of forced my hand to, like, actually go enter the workforce. I didn't have any internships or anything. That was very much my fault. So I got a job working for the same exact company that my mom works for. We're not going to mention who specifically, because phones are crazy enough, and I don't want them to get any crazier with internet peoples trying to find me. So yeah, like, that company in the travel industry, I've worked for them the last 6 years, going on 7. I mean, it's kind of one of those things, IRL, if you know, you know. Yeah. We all know what happened a few years back with the thing that shall not be named, the sickness that shall not be named. It kind of, like, imploded. Well, it imploded everything pretty much. And hours got cut. I had medical issues and stuff I had to deal with at the time. And I was trying to pay off the bills for that. I was picking up any hours that I possibly could, like they were going out of style. And I remember going on to Wish. They had masks in there super duper cheap. But something that I did not realize about them is that, you know, at the time, they were based out of China, and it would take me like way long, like almost a couple months, for me to get my item, because, you know, the sickness that shall not be named disrupted everything. So number one, I got the mask, and it was like really cheap, but by the time, like, I already had like a few masks that friends have made me, they started to be mass produced and like everywhere. So yeah, so like the mask that I got from them was kind of like a flop, but then I saw this peacock image start following me everywhere, and it showed like all these little dots on a canvas, and it showed like these big huge rhinestones and things, and it says that it was a diamond painting. I'm just like, okay, well, I want to try that, because I saw like their instructions on how to diamond paint and everything in there. Like, I want to try it, but I don't want to wait that long. I wonder if there's any on Amazon. So mosey my way on down to Amazon, and I picked up a Sailor Moon and tuxedo mask diamond painting. It's the one where it's kind of like one of the scenes in the anime where they talk about their past lives, sort of thing, where she was the, oh goodness, I'm not gonna say anymore, but it's just them two together, because if I say anymore, it's like gonna spoil the whole first season. Go check it out on Crunchyroll or um Netflix. If you're a fan of slapstick comedy and you don't mind filler, go watch the original. If you want something that's more to the point, go watch the reboot of it, Sailor Moon Crystal. Because if you're at all curious about the magical girl genre, and, you know, it might be a good thing for you. Just saying. But anyways, I did this diamond painting off of Amazon, and it took kind of a while, because, you know, I was still thankfully like working my full amount of hours and then some. But, you know, I finished it. I was like super proud, but then I was like, hang on, like this doesn't look like them from up close. And then I like stood back like 6 feet, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this totally looks like them. Like, it's all coming together. Okay, I see what this is now. So I go and I order one off of Wish, and it was like my second one ever, and it was super huge. It was Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian, and it was a 60 by 80. Lots of browns, purples, grays and blacks, and of course the green from Baby Yoda. It's the one where he's like standing next to the Cyclops frogs, and he's got the orb from the Mando ship, and he's playing with it. So yeah, that was like my second kit ever, and that one, there was that one, and then there was like a card captor Sakura one that I also ordered off of Amazon kind of the same time, and like it came out just like really really wonky looking, like it wasn't charted properly. Because it was round and it was trying to do a lot of details, but it was a too small canvas. But yeah, that is like how I very first got into diamond painting, was the whole pandemic situation, and then 2020 I started Black Friday. I mean, if you want to get technical about it, it got delivered Black Friday of 2020, and like I kitted it up right away and I started working on that Sailor Moon one, and just yeah. I do have some more finished, like I do have quite a few finishes, but I also keep a very small stash as well, and that is because um still going on the paying off debt journey. And it is not sustainable for me to be purchasing licensed artwork right now. I try to plan my purchases for when it's not storm season, or if I have the money available in my budget, try to get things for upcoming events. And I pretty much, yeah, like, cuz I really do love like like the events and everything with the community. I save all of my licensed diamond paintings and stuff for those particular times. I mean, it doesn't really matter so much right now, like in the present, that I may have very few licensed kits, but that's because I'm not monetized yet on this channel. If you want to see more licensed kits from me, though, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my stuff, please. Because I think with me being inconsistent, I'm getting shadow banned. And even if you don't want to do any of those things, just say hi. Well, it is getting close to me having to get ready for work. And I already had multiple takes of this video anyways that I did not like. So you're actually seeing me on like, oh goodness, I don't even want to count the takes. But yeah, you know, new to the whole YouTube crafty thing, and I would greatly appreciate it if you let other people know that I have a channel. I exist. Alright, y'all. It's been about a half hour. I understand people go longer. And I do have much more to talk about with like getting to know me and things. But I gotta go. Because I still have a day job. I still have bills to pay. Bye.